Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Arnie Diaz show. Today's show, a review of Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody. Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody, starring Noemi Eki, was a really, really super fun movie to watch. I really did enjoy the performance of Noemi. Her performance is what steals the show, and her chemistry with Stanley Tucci, who plays Whitney Houston's former manager, is the best part of this movie. And their relationship just flies out of the screen, and it is the best part of the movie. They also do a really good job of representing Whitney Houston's music and putting together many vignettes of her life throughout her life, and they touch and on musical touch notes. This movie really very much plays like a musical that is talking about the highlights of her life, while at the same time telling some really hard truths about Whitney Houston's life. I will say that I do have some criticism for the pacing and the overall screenplay. I think that there are a lot of really well done vignettes in this movie, and separately, I think some of them are very well done and very tasteful and really show you the life of Whitney Houston and who she really was. But there is so much connective tissue between those vignettes that is a little bit not as developed. And by that, I mean that the pacing is sometimes not smooth throughout the movie, and we move through time so fast and so frequently that you really can't get a real good emotional connection with the characters that we're meeting moment to moment. And even sometimes the editing gets to the point where it's a little knee-jerky. And you'll find it in different, and there's definitely like some emotional touchdowns that just don't land because the scene immediately after downplays that and then doesn't understand that in the kind of dynamics of the editing, that this doesn't go with this scene because it will either come off as unintentionally funny or just as kind of novice filmmaking. I do think that this is definitely worth watching. I watched it in the theater with a bunch of people. Actually, I watched it in the theater and like everyone around me were like bundled up in blankets and like not wearing shoes. It was weird, but it's a really fun movie to watch with people because the performance aspect of it is just really good. I found myself dancing back and forth in the theater when I was watching this movie, and people around me were doing the same thing. They do a really good job of like really putting the budget and the time in the performances. I do know that Noemi doesn't sing in the movie, but she does embody Whitney so well, and she does a perfect job of kind of not just mimicking, but really embodying Whitney Houston's singing style that you don't notice it. I didn't notice it. I didn't. Her voice blends well with how Noemi plays her. It can be a little jarring if you really do notice it, but like Whitney Houston, also like one of the greatest singers of all time, you're not going to be able to mimic her voice in a way that'll actually come off the screen. So I completely respect that choice to not have Noemi sing but lip sync. But it does blend really well, and I really enjoyed that aspect. And again, Stanley Tucci is great in this movie. Every time he is on the screen, it is like a breath of fresh air. He is such an enigmatic, just fantastic actor, and you just love watching him. And his relationship and the manager relationship he has with Whitney Houston's character is really well done. And I think he and Noemi just have great chemistry. Noemi, again, great job. I give Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody, a solid 7.5 out of 10. Noemi's performance as Whitney Houston is perfect. She does really well not to characterize Whitney Houston, but to really become her. And it really comes out in all of the musical performances. Stanley Tucci is a standout. Every time he is on the screen, he just comes off. It's electric. He's hilarious, and his relationship with Whitney Houston is just great. He and Noemi have a perfect chemistry, and I really do like the way they play off each other. I would say that my biggest criticism of the movie is that we move so fast through Whitney Houston's life that we don't really get to like breathe with the characters in the moments that we meet with. And sometimes the editing is just a little too choppy, and it kind of gets you out of the movie and kind of downplays the tone a little bit. But overall, I think this was a really fun experience. I was dancing in the theater. I was sitting next to people who were dancing in the theater. It was a good time for sure. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Thank you to all the people who have watched my movies and have come and continue to watch my videos. I'm just trying to do a thing. Thank you so much for sticking around this long. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. I will do my best to also make sure that I comment back and reply to everybody who comments. I do my best to do that for sure. Have a good rest of your day. Stay warm. Have a happy new year. I am going to be coming out with a review of Glass Onion, hopefully today, if not tomorrow. Thank you so much.